Hey guys, I'm Rebel Star Girl. Before I get into the contents of this video, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe and to comment with any critiques, questions, or suggestions. This really means a lot to me and I really love to see your feedback. For today's video, I'm doing a variation of the 6 Fanart challenge. So I'm doing 6 characters that I remind my followers of. So I went over on Instagram and asked you guys what characters I remind you of. And unfortunately, I think I only got 3 or 4 responses, so I had to go ask my friends and family. For the first character, I ended up getting Katara. And I'm in full agreement with this, honestly. I either ended up getting characters like Katara that are like motherly, or really young, perky characters. And I can't really argue. If I had to be any of the Avatar characters, Katara is a pretty good one. I'll take it. I'll take being Katara. As I'm sure you've already noticed, I'm doing these drawings traditionally versus digitally. I just got a little burnt out with digital, and I had done a drawing of my OC with my markers earlier, and I thought it came out really good, so I really wanted to keep using my markers, so that's why I'm doing them all traditionally instead of digitally. I very much underestimated how long this video was gonna take. I did the drawing of my OC in a couple hours. In my mind, I was like, I can do one of these drawings in a couple hours. This video is gonna be fine. These drawings took me so long to get them all done just because there were 6 of them. And by the end, I just wanted them to be done. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little lazy about some of these drawings. And before I forget, I know it has been a really long time. 5 months, 6 months since I've put out a video. The reason for this is that I did start making a different video after that last video I put out, but I wasn't really feeling it, so I scrapped it, and then we actually moved, and I didn't want to work on a video while we were moving, and if you ever moved, you know that process takes a while. And then right after that, school started. So I've been working on this video while doing school, and I've started assisting teaching at my martial arts, so that takes up a lot of time too. So that's why this video is taking me so long to put out, and if I'm being honest, I don't know how frequently I'm going to put out videos in the future. I do still really want to make videos, but it is a lot of work, and I do have school and martial arts and like other stuff going on, so I'm going to try my best to make videos. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about the actual drawing now. So as you can see here, I am not using a marker. I'm actually using a paint pen, which my paper did not like me using very much. It started crinkling and bending, but I still continue to use them. And as you can see, I am just filling in the background. I tried to make a gradient, but filling such a large space, it was like hard to blend. I had to try to work really quick. I don't think I was originally going to do backgrounds, but I drew Katara too small, so then I didn't want to redraw her, so I put the waves in front. And then I just felt like I couldn't have the waves in front and not have something in the back. So I did backgrounds for all of these as well, which didn't help them take any less time. I also added some clouds, just because I felt like I needed clouds, and stars. And this is the final product. I think it came out pretty good. The next character I got was actually another character from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and this time I got Aang! It's kind of funny that I got both, honestly. So here I am, just sketching in his pose and clothes and stuff. I actually drew him big enough this time. So he went all the way down to the bottom of the page, unlike Katara. And then this face, the face took me, as you can see, I'm erasing it and redrawing it, and it took me a while to get the face. Oh my goodness, his ears are so big. His ears are so big, and this mouth, the mouth took me so long. I am so bad at drawing mouths. Like, you can see, I'm redrawing it so many times. I don't understand what it is about mouths. Like, they look so good when everyone else draws them, but then I draw them, and I just don't understand. They just never look good. Oh, and here's me drawing in some leaves, and it was really fun to draw these leaves, actually, because I had already drawn some leaves for one of my other drawings, so I kind of, remembered some stuff I did for that, so that was fun, because I already knew what the leaves were supposed to look like. And here I go, just coloring in the piece. In case you were wondering what markers I was using, I am using a couple different brands of alcohol markers. They're not, the super expensive brands. I would say they're probably,
mid-level, and some of them are kind of old, so they were running out, and it would be really annoying because I would find the perfect color that was kind of limited. I don't have like a huge collection, and then it would run out because it was one of my old markers, and it would make all streaky, and I'd be so mad, and like I'd be like, I just have this little part left. You gotta finish. Come on, come on, marker, don't die now. Color matching proved a little bit difficult for some of these, just because, I mean, I have a good amount of markers, but not enough to get, like, the perfect color for some of these. So it proved a challenge, and I had to layer some markers multiple times, or with another marker to get a decent color. Here I go coloring in the eyes, and then the leaves, and I tried to make the leaves look fancy by using more than one green, but, it's okay. And then here I go starting this background, and this is what I'm talking about. This marker gave out. I was so mad. Look at it. It's just not working. I'm trying so hard to make it just finish, but I had to use other blues, and then I had to use gray to make clouds. And the clouds, they look good. I think I did a good job with them, but they're just out of place. Like, I guess maybe it's a storm, but look how happy he looks. Like, ugh. And then here's our final product. I did a little bit off screen of just finishing up the cloud. What do you think? The next character I got was Isabelle from Animal Crossing. I actually haven't played Animal Crossing, so the only thing I had to work with was the reference pictures I found online and the fact that the person who suggested her said she was sweet. So that's what I had to go with. I also don't really like drawing animals, so I did go with like a human version of her because that's just kind of what I'm comfortable with. And as you can tell, this pose gave me trouble because I'm like blocking it out and trying to figure out how to do it. And then I decided that drawing a hand was a good idea. I don't know why I decided this was a good idea. I'm really bad at drawing hands, so I don't know why I went with this. I'm not gonna lie, this entire drawing is a disaster. It continues to go downhill. Not only do we have a hand, but there is a mouth, and we've already established that those give me problems. And then her hair doesn't make any sense, because I was trying to mimic the ears, but like, I don't know, it doesn't make much sense to me. And then, when we get to the coloring, you will see me have to try to save this drawing multiple times, because I picked the wrong colors, and I had to break out the paints, and it was a disaster. I think the best part of this drawing is the tree that I draw in the background. That might be the best part of this drawing, honestly. I don't know, I don't hate the drawing, but it's definitely not one of my best. This one took me the longest to color, so while I do the coloring stuff, I would like to talk about my trip to Tennessee that I did over the summer. I went to Tennessee with my church for CIY, and if you noticed, I'm actually using my CIY pencil to sketch these. It was really, really fun, and I cannot wait to go next year. We had a really big group, and it was really nice to get to know some of the other kids in my church a little bit better, and now we talk more frequently, so that's really nice. And I've discovered I actually love long car rides. I feel like everyone else hated it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a really fun experience, though, because I had been really struggling, and this was a really good opportunity for me to just be constantly surrounded by God's Word and praying and worship music. So that was, I think, really, really good for me because I couldn't help but listen and to be there and to pray. So that was really nice, and I really liked the worship music. It was really nice, and I got to just like worship, and I got to be really loud, and I got to put my hands in the air, and I got to just worship really freely, which I really enjoyed because I sing really loud. I'm a really loud person. I felt bad one of the nights because someone else from my group was standing next to me, and I was like, I wonder if I'm being too loud. Am I distracting him? I felt really bad. He said I wasn't distracting him, so I also got to play a lot of volleyball. I don't know why my group likes volleyball so much. I'm kind of bad at it, but I have potential. The potential's there, I feel like. But all the fun stuff aside, it was a fun but hard week because I've been having a really hard couple of months, and I couldn't go and not bring the baggage with me. Like, I tried to put that aside for this week so I could really focus on God, but I realized really quickly that it was something I needed to work through. Like, I couldn't put it aside. It was something that I needed to work through it, so I kind of carried that over with me, and it made it hard to focus, and it's still making it hard to focus, and it's been a hard couple months. But obviously I'm still here, and I'm still doing art, and I'm still doing stuff. But yeah, I've really been struggling with my relationship with God, with wanting to pray, and with just trusting and being patient. So yeah, while it was a really, really good camp, and I loved all the sermons, it was really hard for me personally to focus, so I feel like I didn't get that spiritual, feeling you get after going to a Christian camp. If you've ever been to one, you know what I'm talking about. It's just this, sense of, on fireness. Is that a word? This kind of just sense of being on fire, and I feel like I didn't get that as much as I have in other years, but I still think it was a really good experience, and I cannot wait for next year, and I hope next year I'm able to focus and really lean in more. I'm still working on really rebuilding my relationship with God, so... But yeah, that's my little side tangent about how my life is going and how my camp went. I really want to share in these videos and not just talk about art, because of course I want to talk about art, but I really do want there to be a purpose to my videos, and I want to tell you guys about how my life is going and what I'm doing, as well as, my art process and showing my art too. Anyway, here's the final version of Isabelle. What do you guys think? Moving on to the next character, I was really excited when they suggested this character. It is the red blood cell from Cells at Work! And this character has a special place in my heart. She is the first anime character that I ever drew. And Cells at Work is also the first anime that I watched on my own. I wanted to watch anime. I've seen some other animes when I was younger because other people watched them, but this was me looking for an anime, and my friend suggested it, and I watched it, and I love it. I'm actually dressing up as the Red Blood Cell for Halloween. This drawing is actually my favorite out of the 6. I posted on my Instagram when I finished it because I really liked how it came out. So here I am, just sketching in the face, and again with this mouth. The mouth again gave me problems. While you watch me work on this drawing, I decided to ask a fellow artist for some questions for me to answer, and this is what they gave me. Up first, a kind of general question of, what do I like? Obviously, I enjoy art. I also really like making OCs and stories for them, and I also do martial arts. Second, what's my favorite color? For a long time, I've been telling people my favorite color is purple, but recently I really liked pastel pink and pastel colors in general, so I think it might be pastel pink now. With an awkward experience I had in school, I actually don't have an answer for this because I'm homeschooled. So, do I prefer warm or cool colors? When it comes to my art, it just depends on the vibe I want or the character I'm drawing. In general, I think cool colors, since those tend to be what I gravitate towards. Okay guys, there is a squirrel just chilling in the tree right outside my window. I think he's eating something, but I just looked up and I just see this squirrel and I'm like, what? I don't know, I just felt like saying that. Anyway, here I am finishing up the line art. I did show the line art for this one because this is my favorite one and I think the line art came out really well. I did skip me aligning the background though, so... Here I am coloring. I don't really know what else to say, so I guess I'll just talk about my coloring process that I use for all of these. I would start by filling in the base color and layering up if I needed the color to be darker. And then sometimes I would try to add a little bit of shadow while the ink was more wet to create a soft shadow. And then I would go over the area with my shade color once it was completely dry to create some cell shading. And then I pretty much just repeated that process for every part of the drawing. And then when it was completely done, I would go in with my white paint pen and add highlights. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually moved my line of markers to the left side of me instead of the right side because I'm right-handed. And for some reason, it took me till the 4th drawing to move the markers so that my arm and my hand wasn't on top of them the entire time I was drawing. Though, my left hand is on top of them the entire time anyway. What is it doing? I don't know. I was trying to make my camera shot, look nice, but the markers just ended up falling off, and my desk is a mess anyway. My setup was so weird. I have this little recording camera, and I took my mom's, little... It's one of those small tripods with the legs that can bend, so it's supposed to be you can wrap it on top of shelves or door frames or something, so you can get different angles and then you put the camera on it. So I took that because I don't actually have a tripod, but it wasn't high enough on its own, so that I taped it to a stack of books, and that was in front of me, and that's how I got all these recordings. So I was drawing the entire time looking over this stack of books with a tripod taped to it. What can I say? You do what you gotta do. And I am still coloring. I really don't know what to say about this one. I'm still coloring. Use a lot of red for this picture. You all like my wee bear pens that I was using for line art? I did get some actual liners while making this video, so I think the last two were done with actual fine liners, but all the rest were done with these wee bear pens. And here we go with highlights, and I'm pretty sure I skipped coloring the background, so you guys do not have to watch me color the whole background. Don't worry. Yep, here it is. Background is colored, and here is our final touches. And here's the final product. What do you guys think? Our second to last character is Alora from Voltron. I think I've made it to season 2 of this show. I kind of watch it on and off, but I do enjoy some of the characters. I really love Shiro, Keith, and Pidge. I really like drawing Pidge. I don't know, I think it might be the hair. I think the show is pretty good. You're all gonna hate me for this, but every time I watch it, all I can see is Power Rangers. I know, don't get mad at me. But, like, am I wrong? You're all gonna hate me. Like, it's way better than Power Rangers, but Power Rangers. I do think it's pretty good, though. I enjoy the characters. Like I said, I watch it on and off, so it doesn't, like, hold my attention. But when I do watch it, I usually end up watching, like, 5 episodes at a time, so... I think it's funny that I got Alora, because I also got Katara, and me and my friend joked that Alora is Space Katara all the time. So yeah, I got Katara and Space Katara. Okay, while I continue working on this, I'm going to talk about manga, because I started getting into manga, guys. I haven't read a lot, but I have 3 favorites that I love. One is Orange. That manga was so sad and sweet, and I love it so much. It made me so sad, but it was so cute. It made me so sad. It hit all the feels. All the feels, guys. It's definitely a heavier one, though, so I did have to take a break toward the end. I also want to talk about one that I feel is very underrated. And that is Clay Lord, Master of Golems. That manga only has 3 volumes, but I loved it. And no one talks about it. It's like, there's nothing. But it was awesome. And I thought it was great. And I feel like it needs more love and appreciation. Because it was cute. I mean, it got a little dark. It did. It got a little dark. But there was lots of action. And the characters were great. And the character design was great. And I enjoyed the way they wrote the story. I felt a little weird at first. The way they kind of like put the scenes. But I still enjoyed it. And I feel like it is underrated. And you should all go find it and read it and see for yourself. Third, the one I'm in the middle of right now, is Maximum Ride. The manga version. Because I don't really read books. I prefer comics or graphic novels or manga. But yeah, I am on the fifth book of Maximum Ride. And it's so good! Like, I just want to know what happens! I love Fang, and I love Nudge, and I love Iggy, and I just want to know what happens! Anyway, back to the drawing. I'm pretty much just doing the same thing I did for all of the other drawings, going between putting base colors and cell shading and just filling everything in and doing my best with my limited knowledge of how markers work. I really wanted to make the earrings like look shiny and like they are crystals, but I don't think I really did that. And here I am just coloring in her eyes. And look, those are those fine liners I was talking about earlier. I did get some actual fine liners. Okay, pause. So I didn't finish the rest of this on camera. I was getting really tired of sitting at my desk, but I also wanted to finish the drawing, and I wanted to hang out with my cousin who was in the basement, so I actually took the drawing and finished it in the basement, so I didn't record it. But here's the final product. What do you guys think? This final character was actually suggested by my mom, and she suggested Isabella from Phineas and Ferb, and I was actually really happy when I got this character because it wasn't a character I really expected. Now, of course, I want to draw her in my style, so I had to kind of take the very geometrical shaped character and turn her into like an anime girl. So I tried my best, and I think she actually came out really cute. Phineas and Ferb is a show that I watched when I was a kid, and actually it's the show I associate with getting me into drawing. The first time I really remember drawing is when I saw these Phineas and Ferb magazines that I had in my closet, and I started trying to copy the characters that were in the magazine, and I realized that I was actually pretty good at it. Now, I'm sure I drew stuff before then, but that's kind of my earliest memory of drawing. I always tell people I was about 8, but I don't know if that's really accurate. I don't really remember how old I was when that happened. But needless to say, I continued drawing and drew stuff all through middle school. I used to bring my sketchbook to youth group, and I would draw with all my friends while we ate dinner. And over a year ago, my mom got me and my siblings a drawing tablet for Christmas, and I started playing around, and I started trying to do anime art because I've always wanted to be able to draw anime, and I just really didn't think I could do it. But I gave it a shot, and I fell in love with it, and it just clicked, and I have just continued on from there. I'm so lucky that I have art. Honestly, I feel so passionate about it, and I just really, really feel like it's what God wants me to do, and I'm pretty sure I've said that in a different video, but it really is. I'm just really, really passionate about it. And here I am coloring in Isabella. I got to work with pink, which is really fun because I really like pink, but I never really get to work with it. But I realized I really don't own that many pink markers, which I was really actually disappointed. I was like, how do I not own pink markers? I was so sad. So I kind of had to like make do because the markers were either like too red or too purple. Like they weren't just like a good pink. So I had to make do. Luckily, she really only has her dress and her bow, and those are both. And also, luckily, prior to making this drawing, my grandmother got me a pack of new markers, so I was able to take the pink marker from that and layer it over top my alcohol markers to create a better pink. So here I am, just finishing up the hair. I really liked how the hair came out. I loved how it looked like it was blowing in the wind, but it is a bit streaky. As you can see, it's not one flat color, and I don't know if that was me or my marker, but that does kind of annoy me a little bit. And here I go, just finishing up the eyes, and then coming in with my highlights and final details. And once again, I did not record myself doing the backgrounds, so yeah, I'm not going to show that. And here's my final product. What do you think? And here's all the illustrations in the 6 fan art template. The camera did change the way the colors look a little bit, so they're not exactly how they look in real life. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that I'll be able to put out another video soon. But until then, remember to like and subscribe and comment with any questions, critiques, or suggestions. Your feedback means a lot to me and is super beneficial when it comes to my art and video making. Remember to check out my Instagram. I post a lot of art that you won't see over here on YouTube. So until the next video, always remember to praise God.